It's been almost exactly 2 years, and finally, the pandemic is dissipating. We made our choices, we learned our lessons, and it's a new dawn. And it's a new season for the year 2022, and a new time for all of us to embrace new life, new opportunities, new abundance. And while we balance our care and genuine prayer for peace in the awareness of a world that still includes unthinkable tragedy and sorrow and even war, we also are grateful for how blessed we are. And so let us use this spring of 2022 to take everything that we've learned, clear the past, and move forward in gratitude for the freedom that we have, for the blessings of our lives, for the opportunity to come together again in community, online, and yes, in person. We are all part of the awakening world, and we all have the roles that we're playing as individuals and collectively. We are the imaginal cells finding each other to create a beautiful, incredible butterfly out of the old paradigm. So welcome to spring of 2022. Welcome to the awakening world.
We come from the same source, a powerful love force. We're coming together, stronger than ever, not divided. We come from the same source, a powerful love force. We're coming together, hear the call, you are invited. We come from the same source, a powerful love force.
Good evening, dear early Zoom room friends. I'm Love Coach Scott Thomas, and I'm feeling sentimental because this is the last show of this particular season. And as I was showing that video, I realized that's the last time we'll probably show that video because it was all about spring of 2022, and spring has just ended, and we're now entering summer. But that was kind of our spring of 2022 video that we used to start every early show. And of course, this is the early Zoom room show. So I want to welcome those of you that are with us. And I see a lot of wonderful friends. Oh, good. Daniela is with us. I'm going to promote you to panelist. So many of our friends, Mark and Leaf and Kathleen and Eleanor Joy and all of you. So as always, I so enjoy when you let me know where you're coming from geographically. Marlene from Santa Fe, Eleanor, of course, from Vancouver Island, Mark from San Diego. So it's always wonderful to have you with us. I am really excited about tonight because it's going to be a different show. I only have a couple of live guests coming in, but we're going to reminisce about really the last 2.5 years, the 90 shows that we did of Saturday Night Live on Saturday nights, and then 26 weeks every Saturday night and actually every weekend of the Awakening World. And as some of you may know, I am going to take a little break, not a big break, but a little bit of a break. I got hit pretty hard by a second bout of COVID and have spent most of the last 2 weeks really resting and taking it easy and getting my energy back. And so I haven't been able to pull it together to put together a month full of shows in July. So I'm going to take most of July off. We might do a couple of occasional shows just to keep the energy running. I might show some replays, or I might put together something. We'll see. And then I'll decide what what the future is going to hold. And your feedback is going to be really, really important. So tonight, I want to hear from you. So put your thoughts, your comments into the chat box. We had a lovely conversation last night on Friday Night's Awakening World, and we're going to continue that tonight. And we are going to have some live guests. Becky Suzik and John Raymer are going to come in from World Unity Week, which we've been celebrating all week long. And I also want to take a minute just to thank Debbie Johnston. Debbie's here. And of course, she has done so much all season, all year long, really, to get the links out to everybody and connect with all of our presenters and helping things work. So let's all twinkle Debbie. And thank you very much, Debbie, for all your support. It's been really, really beautiful. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I thought it'd be kind of fun to start by showing, I'm going to show some various videos tonight. And I would like to start by showing a video of Kristin Hoffmann, who's been, she's my very first co-host on The Awakening World. She's been my co-host several times. We all love Kristen and her amazing music. And this is sometimes her girlfriend, Keishi Chai, dances spontaneously to Kristen's music. And this is one of those times that they did that, and it was really quite wonderful. So let's take a look.
Such an honor to be here tonight, and I can't imagine a better subject than honoring our body temple to celebrate with music and dance. And it's always just one of my most favorite experiences in the world to collaborate with Keishi. And this is going to be an improvisation. So I will be diving into a solome improvisation musically, which I think of as soul light, weaving with Om, the vibration of the universe. And Keishi is also going to be improvising to the music, and we're just going to be listening to each other and tuning into our bodies and to each other and to this beautiful planet and see what wants to come forward. And I like to invite everyone who's watching. This is a co-creative process, so send your intentions into the music, into the dance. We will be literally interpreting and feeling and sensing your visions as well. So here we go. Let's see what happens. tuning into your body tempo, tuning into your body tempo, tuning into our body tempo. Tuning into your body tempo, listening, listening, tuning and listening.
Wow. Isn't Kristen Hoffman amazing? She's just such a gem. I want to share that I only met her through Saturday Night Live. I didn't know her 2 years ago, and she came on and she sang on Saturday Night Live, and she was wonderful, and we developed a friendship, and she sang on Saturday Night Live a couple times, and then really was very helpful in co-creating The Awakening World, and was my very first co-host, our first show in January, on January 1st, in fact, New Year's Day. And I want you to know about her that obviously she's a brilliant talent. We all know that. She's also one of the kindest human beings I know. I haven't been feeling well. I've got COVID, or had it. I'm testing negative now. But I've been really knocked out by it. And every day she's been sending me audio messages, checking in on me. She's just so sweet. And she's an artist, and she's a perfectionist. And she delivers her suggestions for how things could be better with so much kindness, with so much just sweet love. It's an amazing thing. It's really, really amazing to be that talented and to be a perfectionist and to still be so kind. And one last thing I'll share about Kristen that is just kind of a cool thing to know. She's brilliant. She went to Juilliard, which is the top school for performing artists. She was trained to be an opera singer. She was offered a record contract, and she turned down both the opera world and the pop music world to do what she does, which is be on shows like The Awakening World and to work with World Unity Week and to be involved with the Evolutionary Leaders Network. She literally turned down fame and fortune for being part of this movement that all of you, everyone who's here with us tonight, everybody listening to my voice, we're all part of this global peace tribe. And she turned down fame and fortune to put her energy into supporting efforts like this. So that's just a little bit about Kristin Hoffmann. She's a very, very special soul. Wonderful to have all of you with us. I see Daniela wrote, absolutely precious. I discovered Kristen 3 years ago in Marco Sonato's compositions that we used in a 7-day retreat. So moving and loving. And Nancy writes, Kristen and dancer as usual, pure perfection. Absolutely. I want to play another video. And this is Uh, One of my favorite people that's been on our show is Elizabeth April. Um, she's really, she's also somebody who's quite special. Um, and so this is kind of a fun video of Elizabeth April sharing about the Galactic Federation. And one of the things that we've done on Saturday Night Live and Straight Talk and now in the Awakening World is we've, of course, had a lot of shows about our galactic family, what's happening in the UFO field. Of course, Deborah Giusti and Alan Steinfeld just did the Making Contact series. And Elizabeth April is one of my favorite voices. And she's also someone I've become friends with and gotten to know through these past 2 years. And so here's what Elizabeth has to say about the Galactic Federation. So, what has the Galactic Federation had to say about climate change? Where are we going? How bad is it going to get? Can they come help us? What do you have to say?
For sure, yeah. So I did a 2022 prediction video, which is actually on my YouTube, and it was all just messages about climate change. 2022 is, yeah, we're going to see the collapse of the old systems at those systemic levels, but we're really going to see a lot of climate issues. They talked about volcanoes erupting. Of course, we've already seen a massive one hit. They talked about tsunamis and waves. They talked about fire. They talked about flooding. There's going to be a lot of climate change taking place. Now, I'm not going to say that I am a what is it called, global warming denier. I'm not at all. Like, I don't really put myself into any bucket. But I do want to say that in the first meeting that I ever got introduced to the Galactic Federation, one of the things that they mentioned back in 2011 was that there is something taking place on planet Earth called a pole shift. This is what they explained. I had no idea what this was, had no idea, just no idea. So they said that basically the magnetic poles, not the physical, but the magnetic poles on planet Earth are shifting. And they said that in our lifetime, they're going to shift about 13 degrees. Now, in the past, planet Earth, from what I've learned from them, has gone through many different pole shifts. This is not an unusual thing. This is actually just a cycle that planet Earth tends to go through, and we're right here during this cycle. Now, in the past, the magnetic poles have shifted 90 degrees. They've shifted 180 degrees. They've shifted completely. This was basically the time when humanity was wiped out, technology was wiped out, the Ice Age, the Great Floods, all of that basically took place time and time again. According to, I believe, different tribes and the indigenous community, we are currently on the seventh Earth, which I do believe that this is kind of our seventh cycle in a sense. I'm not really sure what that means, but it does resonate. And so the poles are shifting once again. This is where a lot of the climate change is taking place, is with the magnetic pole shift. Luckily, it's not going to wipe us out completely. It's only 13 degrees. This is a very small pole shift, but it is taking place. I definitely believe that planet Earth is being destroyed by humans. Like, that is, not even a question in my mind. And that's definitely adding to the destruction of, the ecosystem and the environment. We also have to realize that a lot of the flooding, a lot of even the animals, this is what I've channeled from the GFL, a lot of animals will die because the migration patterns are changing, because the magnetic systems are changing. And then also they've told me many years ago that a lot of new species, a lot of new animals are actually going to start to be discovered. I don't know if that's maybe some sort of timeline hop, or if that actually is a migration shift. So creatures from the deep, in the ocean are now coming to the surface. I'm not really sure why, new creatures would be discovered or species would be discovered. But that's kind of what I've channeled. So 2022 is going to be a year of a lot of that shifting and changing. I'm a prepper myself. I really recommend that, not to be in fear, but plan for the worst, hope for the best when it comes to being in a big city, when it comes to being in a place that maybe you're at a coastline or what have you. I just recommend food and water for your family for up to 3 months. Once again, it's not a fear-based thing. As a matter of fact, when stuff does happen, you're not in fear because you're good to go. And the way that I do that, because a lot of people tell me I don't have the money, to buy all these things. And every time I go grocery shopping, I buy 1 or 2 canned goods, non-perishables. And that way it's not breaking the bank, it's not hurting your budget, but you do have something that's really stored up for yourself and your family in that worst case scenario. So once again, I don't think it's going to be completely catastrophic, but 2022 has a lot of that sort of climate change taking place.
Thank you. That's pretty interesting, isn't it? And as always, we don't promote any particular belief system as the absolute truth, but it's always interesting to hear different perspectives. And obviously, Elizabeth April is one of those people who has always brought unique perspectives to the awakening world. And I'm curious, I'd love to hear from you, because those of you that are in this early Zoom room show, we're going to go live on Facebook in a couple minutes. But those of you that are in the Zoom room, you're our closest friends and fans. You're the ones that come every week. I would love to know, what are some of the views, some of the points of views that you've heard from our presenters that have been interesting to you, or maybe offered a new perspective, or were even awakening? I mean, this is all about the awakening world. And we all are awakening. We are microcosms within the macrocosm. As our planet is awakening, as humanity is awakening, each of us as human beings are awakening. And one of the most important things is for us to always be open-minded, not to see something as, no, that's wrong, that's the wrong language, that's a wrong belief, or no, you're wrong, but just to be curious of, wow, what an interesting point of view. Or I wonder which values or needs are represented by that point of view. And let's always, always, always remain as open-minded as we possibly can. Okay? So I'm seeing some comments. Julia writes, what Elizabeth said is right in line with what I have understanding since at least 1984. Yeah. Welcome, John from Norfolk. The dancer, by the way, again, was Keishi Chai. Keishi Chai was the dancer. And that's her name, because there was a question going on. And then somebody, it says me, but it must have been somebody who came in using my Zoom or my link, says, this reminds me that the Global Peace Tribe has given to all the replays for us to enjoy. Kristen replay performance. Yes, you can. Remember that you can find all of our replays on our YouTube channel. We've got a really robust YouTube channel. Just go to YouTube and go to Global Peace Tribe, and I'll put that into the chat box. All right, it is 6 o'clock, and it's time for us to go live on Facebook. So I got to do a couple of little things here real quick.